Yesterday I took my car to the garage and I had the oil change and some new filters put in. And while I was there, I was thinking about how we sometimes take more care of our motors than we do of ourselves. And that's what I want to talk about in today's video, because I realised that most of us never pay ourselves enough attention. Instead of spending our time and our money on our cars. But what I want to talk about is, what do you do to get yourself back onto an even keel, to take a bit of care of yourself? As I said, I put oil in the car, makes the engine run smoother. What do you do to make your engine run smoother? I'm James, and if you're here for the first time, great to see you and welcome along. I like to talk about things that help us in our journey through life, give you a bit of encouragement along the way. And what I realised today was that when I was waiting for my car yesterday, it got me to thinking about the things I like to do to bring me back to a steady level. Because like the car, you go after whatever it is you're doing through the week. And then you have to find a time when you get some replacement calm in your life, because otherwise you just wear yourself out. Like if you had the car and you didn't put any oil in it and you didn't put any water in, sooner or later it's gonna seize up. The ideal thing would be every 6 months to go on holiday, but not all of us can afford to do that. One of the things that I like to do is go to the coast. Now the nearest coast from us is about 70 miles, an hour and a half's drive. But the thing is, you can't do that every single weekend. So it's about finding something for you that takes you out of yourself, gives you something to do that takes your mind off of the stresses and strains of life. It may be that you're a gardener and you'd like to get out in the garden and do a bit of pottering about when the weather's nice. It may be that fitness is your thing and you like to go for a jog. Some people love to go shopping. It eases their mind. Don't understand that at all, but there you go. For me though, I found something really odd that eases me completely. I never really noticed that I was doing it. I'm an early morning person, so generally I get up around 6 o'clock every day. But I've noticed that weekends these days, I tend to lay in bed until 9 o'clock listening to the radio. And the radio that I listen to is a channel called Boom Light. Now, Boom is for my age group, but Boom Light is more of an easy listening sound. The sort of music my mum and dad used to play when I was growing up. You know, the kind of music I would have hated, being a Beatles fan and then growing up into the 70s with groups like Slade and ELO and Elton John and all that sort of thing. The kind of music my mum and dad played, the Ray Conniffs and all of that sort of stuff, never really did it for me. But what I've noticed as I've got older is how much my tastes in music have changed. As a child, I was one of the 45s generation. I used to buy singles. I had a huge collection of singles and loved to play them all the time. But what I've found is that I put this station on, Boom Light, on a weekend, and I put it on as soon as I wake up. I have a cup of tea in bed, put the radio on, sit there listening to this music. And I've noticed how it calms me down. This music that my mum and dad loved, like I said, Ray Conniff, there'll be Tony Bennett, Frank Sinatra, Peggy Lee, all of these old singers. But I've noticed how much I love the songs and the instrumental songs that they play on there, how much I appreciate the instruments and the musicianship and all that sort of thing. And I've noticed that whatever stresses and strains that built up through the course of the week, on a Saturday and Sunday morning, from when I wake up till when I get up and I've got this radio on, how much it brings me down and chills me. And I think it's played a major part in easing my temperament over the last, I don't know, 6 months, maybe a year since I discovered the channel. And it's so good for all of us if you can find something that will bring you down. Maybe it's reading a book. Maybe sat curled up with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and a book and sitting reading a book can chill you right out. And that's the kind of thing that I think you ought to be looking at, because we can't live our lives in a state of just keeping going and keeping going and keeping going. I know that because I did it for so long, and I found that it affected my temperament. I could get jumpy, I could get argumentative, I could get just got at. And it doesn't take just working to do that. Just take a look at your local newspaper, watch the news, look at social media and see what's going on. With the state of the world surrounding us all at loggerheads, it's easy to get all wound up and het up about it. I found that since I stopped doing those kinds of things, since I stopped watching the news, stopped reading the newspapers, stopped spending so much time on social media, that my mood calmed. I don't get so wound up as I used to. And I think it's something that we all need to look at, because it's very easy to get dragged into the mire of what's going on in life, when the fact is that most of us really can't do much about it. Yes, we can moan and we can groan and we can go on protest if we want to, but it doesn't seem to do anything. All it does is cause more tension. And so I think it's really wise for us to find things that chill us out. For me, it's music. I love my music. I love to listen to my music. I play music a lot, particularly in this room. And the fact that I love all different types of music is a bonus, because I can go from, as I say, a group like Slade from the 70s to the Teskey Brothers, who are quite new really, back to Connie Francis. And I get great enjoyment from all of them. But there's no taking away from the fact that I am a pop tart. I like the pop charts. I always did. That's where I collected most of my records from, the 45s, the singles, those little 2-minute bits of joy and wonder that we used to love. But what is it for you? What is it that brings you down? Maybe you like cooking. Maybe it's could be something different for each and every one of us. I know some people love to play computer games. It's something personal for each and every one of us, isn't it? And that's what I want to really wrap up this little video about, because it's about finding things that take us to a better place. The world outside can be busy, push, argumentative, and all of the things that wind you up and pull you like that. But you have, for your own sake and for your own mental health, to know what it is that chills you out. And then you need to take the appropriate amount of time to keep yourself in a good mood, to keep yourself chilled, to keep yourself in a state whereby you're not raising your blood pressure. You're not dreading bumping into somebody because you're going to get dragged into whatever's going on around the world and you don't want to know. It's about keeping us on an even keel, if you like. It's about finding the things in our lives that can keep us happy and keep us contented in all the maelstrom of things that are going on in life. I spent part of yesterday not only having my car done, but I saw 3 of our grandkids. 2 of them had a party yesterday because their birthdays are only days apart. And that was lovely too. Having a cuddle, tormenting the kids. It's one of the joys of life. And so that's what I really wanted to talk about today, is to finding what does it for you. Whatever it is, do it as often as you can. After all, we're not here for that long. We might as well take whatever time we can to make ourselves contented and happy. And on that thought, I'm going to point over there because I'll put another video up. This is day 4 of my video challenge. I will see you tomorrow.